Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is another wonderful video lesson from Miss Thurston, and it is titled Connotation versus Denotation, and I'll explain those two words in just a moment. But please remember that your notes and the lessons and topics from today are actually going to be the basis for our lesson tomorrow in class. So it would be in your best interest to go ahead and get this video watched and these notes taken and uploaded back into Canvas for credit this afternoon. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask, but these notes should be short, sweet, and to the point, should not take more than one side or possibly two sides of a sheet of notebook paper, and I will walk you through what I want you to write down as we go through these topics. So our topic today is connotation versus denotation. It's all about the choices. In other words, we're talking about word choice, and authors are very careful about the words that they choose to use in their texts, because what those words imply, those positive or negative attributes that those words imply, greatly affect the points that they are trying to get across in their writing, whether it be a literary text or a informational text. So take a look at the picture here. We see a man balancing very precariously on a high wire, and below him is a pit of snapping alligators. Now, how would you classify this man? In other words, how would you describe him? Would you call him brave, foolish, dumb, asking for whatever came to him? What kind of risks is he taking? Are they positive risks or negative risks? Well, how you choose to classify the man, if you were to write a story about him, will your word choices greatly affect what kind of story you write about the man. And again, we could go on and on about our own interpretations and our own feelings on this man walking across a tightrope over a pit full of alligators. But it serves as a wonderful launching point of what positive or negative attributes would you give, and the words that you use to describe either positive or negative attributes are what we call connotation versus denotation. So let's get ready. On this slide, we see 4 pictures. And I want you to consider whether each of these situations is bad or are they horrible. Bad and horrible, those two words both have a negative connotation. In other words, they both invoke negativity, or in other words, not good. But bad and horrible are varying degrees of negative. So what would you say? Is this a bad situation or is this a horrible situation? In the first picture, we have a man with an obvious rip in his suit jacket. Is this a bad situation or is this a horrible situation? As an outsider looking in, it's a hole. It can be easily fixed if you know how to sew, or if you can pay for someone to fix it for you. Or is it a horrible situation if it's from the point of view of the man with the hole in his suit jacket? Maybe he's on his way to a job interview. If he's on his way to a job interview and he has a hole in his jacket, it's a horrible situation. If he's on his way to church where people are going to love him anyway, maybe it's just a bad situation. Maybe he's on his way to a first date. Then it's horrible. But again, what degree of negativity depends on the situation. And that's where context clues come into play. So let's take a look at our next example. Here we have poor Pooh Bear dressed as Robin Hood, and he has an obvious tear in his face. Is this a bad situation or is this a horrible situation? Well, from Pooh Bear's perspective, It's a horrible situation. Who wants a tear in their face? If you're the little girl or little boy who owns this poor toy, you would think it was horrible. If you're the parent trying to deal with the brokenhearted child that has a tear in their toy, it might be just a bad situation. You roll your eyes and promise to fix it. So again, it all depends on your perspective. Take a look at this third photo. It's an obvious car wreck. Bad or horrible? Well, there's a line from the movie Indiana Jones that says, any landing that you walk away from is a good landing. So any car wreck that you can walk away from, is it bad or is it horrible? Well, if you walked away from it, maybe it's just a bad car wreck. But if you got hurt or you couldn't walk away, is it horrible? Again, it's about perspective. No use crying over spilled milk, or in this case, spilled ice cream. Is this bad or is this horrible? Again, if you were really looking forward to that bowl of ice cream, it might be horrible. If you could care less whether you got the bowl of ice cream one way or the other, maybe the situation's just bad. But if you're the person who has to clean this up, maybe it's horrible. But again, what kind of word are you going to use to describe these situations? It all depends on your perspective and how much negativity you want to give to each of these situations, because bad and horrible both have different degrees of negativity. That's what we call connotation. In writing, authors choose their words carefully in order to get their point across, whether they're trying to convince you of something, explain something to you, or just tell a good story. When a writer is careful with their words, they can give their writing a certain tone, and that tone can be positive or negative. And the best way to achieve this effect is to very carefully use precise words that have certain denotations and connotations associated with them. Well, what do those two words mean? Connotation and denotation. Well, let's actually flip our examples. The denotation of a word is its dictionary, in other words, literal meaning. If I were to look up the word in the dictionary, what does that dictionary say that a word means? However, many words also have a connotative meaning. Their connotation either evokes feelings or emotions of positivity or negativity, their suggested meaning. Let's put this in an example. Let's take the word gray. And yes, I understand the irony of writing that word in red. But if the word is gray, gray has two associations. It's denotative or denotation. Its literal meaning is a color of any shade between the colors of black and white. However, it also has connotation associated with it. Historically, in literature, when gray is used, it is negative. It means gloom, sadness, perhaps old age. Remember, we talked about the color gray in our symbolism unit. So, the word gray has both a literal and connotative meaning of negativity. You're going to find many words that have two meanings, emotions associated with it and their literal dictionary meanings. To keep these two words apart, think of the word denotation and dictionary. They both begin with a D. So if you're trying to remember which vocabulary word means the literal dictionary definition of a word, think denotation. We're going to practice more with connotation versus denotation on the next slide. Now here's a little exercise that we're going to do in our notes. Here you have a very crudely drawn T-chart with negative on one side and positive on the other. Please make this chart on your notes and get ready to do a kind of word sort. Take a look at the list to the left. The words are valuable, show off, gaudy, stodgy, responsible, attractive, delicate, guerrilla, passionate, and argumentative. Some of these words are new to you. You may not know the literal meaning, the denotation of any of these words, or a few of these words. So, again, you are not allowed to walk away not understanding what any of these words mean. Please take the time to look them up if you need to. Then, I need you to sort these into their negative or positive connotations. In other words, is the word valuable? When you think of the word valuable, does that have negative connotations or positive connotations? So you're going to decide for each of these words to the left what their connotations are based off of their denotations, their literal dictionary meanings. So pause the video, do a little bit of a word sort, look up the words that you don't know, and kind of quiz yourself. Sort them into negative and positive on your paper. After you are done with your word sort, unpause the video and check yourself. Because on the next slide, you'll see the words sorted. So pause the video and do your word sort now. Okay, did you have enough time to look up the literal meanings of these words and try to decide if they had negative and positive connotations? Well, here are the results. Negative connotations: show off, delicate, guerrilla, argumentative, and stodgy. Positive connotations: valuable, responsible, attractive, and passionate. Again, generally, these words have negative connotations, and the other list generally has positive connotations. In other words, the emotions that these invoke. Now, you could argue that delicate, depending on the situation, can be both positive and negative. But honestly, couldn't any of these words be both positive or negative? Again, it all depends on context. What is the writer intending when they use these words in their text? You can't always take it at face value. In other words, they're denotations. You have to look at them in context within the writer's text. So as we practice with the following exercises, ask yourself, I know the denotations of these words. In other words, they're literal dictionary definitions. But what is the connotation that the author is trying to show me? In other words, what is their emotional or positive, negative value that they're trying to stress within the text? Now flip your paper over, and your paper should look very similar to mine. In this lesson, they give you a review of denotation and connotation, as well as a reminder of what positive connotation is and negative connotation. But they throw in a third concept, neutral connotation. You really don't see a whole lot of neutral connotation, especially in literary texts. However, informational texts, those nonfiction pieces, especially if they're explanatory text, in other words, they're simply trying to explain something to you, they will use a lot of neutral connotative words because they're not trying to persuade you to a certain opinion. They're simply trying to give you information. So that's something to keep in mind if you're not really sure about the positive or negative connotation of words in an informational text. More than likely, they're trying to remain neutral to let you form your own opinion. But I can assure you, for the purposes of these 3 exercises, there is definitely a right or a wrong answer because they're going to be either positive or negative. So take a look at exercise A. They're going to be giving you pairs of phrases, and you've got to decide if they are positive or negative. In other words, do they have a positive connotation or a negative connotation? And like the directions say, beside each phrase in the pair, decide which one is negative and which one is positive. And please indicate that with a plus or a negative. Exercise B is connotation in action. In other words, you've got to decide which way you're slanting, either positive or negative. In the first paragraph, you are going to circle the words that have a positive connotation between the 2 words in the parentheses here. So please circle the one for the first paragraph that has a more positive implication. And in the second paragraph, you're going to circle of the 2 pairs in the 2 words in the parentheses, which one has a more negative connotation. But remember, it has to be in context. So just because a word can be both positive or negative, you've got to decide which is the stronger negative or positive of the pair, depending on which paragraph you are trying to work in. Your last exercise for this is the vocabulary challenge. You are to come up with a synonym to replace each of the words in 1 through 5 so that they have a positive connotation, and then use the word correctly in a sentence. But because I am feeling generous, I only want you to pick 3 of the words and use them in a sentence. You have to come up with a synonym for all 5, but you only have to write 3 sentences. So that's my Christmas gift to you. Don't say I never gave you nothing. All right, guys, that's the end of our positive and negative connotation versus denotation lesson. And again, we're going to be hitting this in class later on. Get this exercise done as quickly as possible. Submit your work to Canvas and be ready to rock and roll on Tuesday. Have a good afternoon.